You people have changed. You know I'm right. I don't know what happened to the slide. Anyways, Mary Kay, my gosh, at your wedding, you spent all this money on a professional photographer, and yet everybody in the place was taking great, brilliant pictures from every angle using Instagram. I'm just going to have to look up 1,000 photos now. And Nate, those memes you send me every day just have me laughing. I laugh so hard that I retweet them as my own. Because after all, I'm that shallow, and because of you, I'm funnier. And Alex, those food photos, that the places you go and the food you eat, line up my Facebook wall. But, Yelp seems to think you're the only reviewer in town, but frankly, I can't stand the photos. And Jill, what were you thinking? What were you thinking? You're full bar full of smartphones, and you get on the stage and you start dancing with this drunk woman. I'm pretty sure this event just stayed between you and I. Like Mary Kay, Nate, Alex, and Jill, you'll be remembered for the moment. Now is the new story. The common denominator is nowness and the power of immediacy. For a time, I worked at the Onion newspaper. The story was a weekly affair. It would offer such clever insights as Bill Gates patents ones and zeros, or a penthouse reader never thought this would happen to them. But in time, the Onion was a weekly affair, then it was daily, then it was one of those things that was using social media, and it can catch you off guard, as it did during the Oscars. During the Oscars, it decided to tweet out something about a child actress using a bad word, and it just wasn't clever. So it appears that at times we have more hate than love for social media, and it's because it exposes an impulse or something really stupid about us. An example of this is what Nate Fielder did this last week. Nate Fielder, a Comedy Central guy, decided to tell his followers the following: I haven't been fully honest with you. He asked people who send that to what they were dating or who they were dating. The result was this: people saying, me too. People saying, is that why you're spending the time in the gym? Are you married? Or my favorite one that's not up here is, I'll be honest as well, I hooked up with your brother during Christmas. So it appears that these things can get us carried away like our friend Snapchat, but you know what? That's growing, so what does that say about us? And it appears the big things and the small things are dealt with on the very same level. And imagine if that was always the case in history. Neil Armstrong would be tweeting or Instagramming, for instance. And here's Martin Luther King. Look at him. He's just become the mayor of Albany Jail on Foursquare. So as a consumer marketing, I noticed something creeping in. And it was this social cast that was coming in, and we were capturing the moment. And it was a new potential. And some may say it's an irritant, and some people love it, and we probably treat it like an addiction, so much so, let's try feeding the need right now. Let's try this together. I'd love for all of you to capture this moment. So why don't you get out your smartphones. Let's do this together. This TEDx, let's be a little social here. Take a picture of yourself, me, or others. I might do the same real quick if you guys could just gather around the same. You're just squeezing a little bit. Hold on. Very nice. Nicely played. And if you, and what you really did, in my marketing speak, my former past, maybe my present, depending on what my clients say, they would say this: you engaged in the moment and leveraged your technology to evangelize your personal experience. Yes, you did. But what you really did is you captured media. You created media right now in this room. And if you tagged it correctly, hashtagged it correctly to hashtag TED or hashtag TEDx or hashtag TEDxMadison or hashtag the Now Cloud Plug, then what happened is you sent this thing out to countless eyeballs everywhere right now. You've shared your moment, and you've shared it with everyone, people you know and you don't know. Imagine that. Imagine that you created media and sent it out of here. And somewhere out wherever, they just got it. And it's just stunning to me. And it only took 7 years to do that. And it was an evolution that started with texting and moved on to smartphones, and then moved to smartphones with cameras, smartphone with sensors, and then dedicated apps. And it's changed how we tell and remember stories. Steve Jobs, when he launched the iPad 3 years ago, said a bit of a cultural truism. He said, we don't completely know what people are going to do with it. And that's true. How can we do that? But we are now not just readers and watchers. We're creators, reporters, seekers, showers, and doers. We have multiple outlets for sharing. And if you have a website, you have a business website, you have a resume, quite often you put those little badges down on the bottom, and you line them up on the horizontal. And there they sit. And I would contend they should actually be thought of on the vertical, because what you've got here is a fat ribbon of concurrent time. All of it is at the same time using different channels. It's a simultaneous bandwidth, each squeezing your story on both sides, on many channels at once. That squeeze you feel is the now. Immediacy is our newest conduct and our newest underlining relationship. And what's stunning to me is that we taught ourselves that the world is all stimulus now. And that's a crazy thought too, that we stop what we're doing and we go, hey, I'm going to take a picture of that stupid guy. Or hey, look at that, it's something that's dead. And we take a picture of it and we share it. It's just crazy. And then, you know, it reminds me back when I was little and I had a magnifying glass. And you were asked to take it. Just got mail. Right now, I just got mail. So you take this magnifying glass, and you're asked to look at the world differently. And that is exactly what we're doing every day now. Suddenly, we're all collecting and carrying around a magnifying glass and going, hey, look at this. So let's change the conversation. Let's talk about ideas and sharing a better purpose for now. Now is the new story in TV. We've got things like social TV coming up. It's that relationship between the big screen and the small screen. We're watching something on TV and we're sharing and we're having a dialogue. It's a co-relationship. It's social TV. ABC just came out with an app, a social sound tracker, and it kind of collates all that. And what's really neat is you look here, President Obama, he got 33% laughing at that last joke. We have appointment TV. Appointment TV, Oscars, debates, sporting events. It allows us to virtually gather around in the same room almost, and yet we're not, and have a conversation or dialogue. We have Netflix. Thank you, Netflix. We have a new term, content binging. They first served up a little all-you-can-eat helping of House of Cards. Then here comes Arrested Development Season 4. And I'll admit, my family got fat and happy last weekend as we gouged or gorged ourselves on all that content in one sitting. And then we've got this little nebulous, undernourished thing called a hashtag. It sits on our screen and some people pay attention. But really what you should do is look at that as your invite. That's your invitation to step into the conversation and have it. And it really creates a live experience for a rather static format. Now is the new story in our social calendar. We share everything we do while we're out. There's like no privacy. We're out there with a couple and we're sharing everything we're doing, and it seems silly. But there's a good thing in this. There's socializing the moment. This takes us to a new level of community and togetherness. That's something that was kind of lost in the isolating world of, say, suburbs or home entertainment. Now is the new story in what you'll be wearing as you look for the perfect outfit on Pinterest. We have things coming up. We had great smartphone, kooky little things full of sensors, and now we're getting into wearables. Wearables like Google Glass, as everybody's heard of. And then we have single-purpose things that collect our vitals. We've got Jawbone Up, and we've got Nike Fuel, single function, collecting vitals. But now we're going to get into biometrics. This is cool. I love this idea, right? Because now what we're going to be able to do is perhaps find out what my mood is. It'll be transparent, and you'll see it on Facebook. Oh, goody. So my wife, we say, oh, what's wrong, Terry? Nothing. Why? Well, you seem to see that somehow. We're sharing our moments, more of our moments. Twitter numbers are up. This is just stunning to me. This is all of YouTube content exploding. This is overall, all the pictures, all the tweets, all the photos. Boom. We're sharing everything. And the bottom line is, It's made us more connected. The basis to it is being connected, excited, curious and interested, and productive. The upside is we're collaborating, sourcing, thinking, doing, voting, sharing more of ourselves, of our talents, ideas, and even our kindness. Imagine that. And what will you do with it? If you're a content creator, how will you go about with, what are you going to do with all those sensors? And create a story with it right now. How do you take Vine, that 6-second medium, and create a story that may be meaningful? It may not have to be full of it. David Lynch right now is doing a thing that's freaking everybody out, frankly. So he put up this 6-second video called Mystery. And what's cool about it, it kind of hints exactly what he's doing. He's putting it out there, and he's giving you the role to figure it out. And that's what some of this is about. You're not just watching, but you have a role. You figure it out. David's going ahead and, what is this? And he's creating a dialogue, and I think that's kind of cool. Business and brand. What you make is an opportunity to tell who you are and what you can do for people immediately. I love this. And I talk to my clients about this. The point of sale can happen anywhere. And what that really means is that you can meet your client, your customer, your user, your buyer at their point of need and their point of highest desire. That's really cool. And it changes the point of sale, and it changes really the R, or the return on investment, because the return on investment is actually going to be a sale. Technology builders. How will you elevate the importance of right now for everyone? I looked for a lot of examples, and I like these. This is, I think China's ahead of things in a lot of this world. Here you got a huge population, a lot of limited resources, lots of people, lots of demand, limited resources, taxis. So here's what they do. They got push to talk. Push to talk allows you to go ahead and coordinate directly with the driver. They've got win to bid or bid to win. This is the reverse of tipping. Right? You tip ahead of time, you're basically bribing the drive. And then you've got real-time tracking where you're kind of coordinating where to meet it. It's very efficient, and it means that the technology builder and the consumer kind of seem to be working together on solving problems. So now is an invitation to seek out, try, and opt in to new experiences. One of the experiences you'll be asked to opt into very soon is the retail experience. And this is scary because you're going to be thinking that you're tracked, but it's neither public nor private. It's going to be somewhere right in between. But don't resist that tracking, because what's really happening there is you're trying to get a better experience there, something more efficient, creating better value for you. And that's what the world is getting to, is better service and value. And we've got Solomo here locally doing stuff like this, got some great ideas, but we have to get away from tracking as a bad thing. I think it has its purpose. So we've gone through 2 computing cycles. We've got smartphones and tablets, and we're about to enter a third, which is wearables, drivables, flyables, and scannables. Yay! And we've got an example of that right now with the Google self-driving car. And as I said in rehearsal, I'm still trying to figure out who you give the finger in this picture. So now that's now in the nutshell. There's more hate than love for our consumer, the current form of instant expression. But that's a snapshot of us. We own and grew that disdain. The good thing is now has always been a turning point. Now is a story to be more productive, more positive, with our opportunities, our ideas, our words, and behaviors to make now better than then. So I thank you.